Are you moving to Florida, especially in 2021? Then this video you must check out, because in this video I'm going to throw a facts. What's happening in 2021, which is I even feel very unusual, and some are like continuous facts you gotta use to, especially the negative factors you gotta use to if you are living in Florida. By the way, I have lived in so many states, and finally, I moved from Michigan to Florida, I guess 12 to 13 years ago, and I feel it was one of my best decisions. If you ask me reasons, so I have so many reasons, and that's why I made this channel. So if you're looking to learn about Florida, what are the good neighborhoods, where you should live, what's the cost of living, what are good stuff, bad stuff, and that's all things we talk in this channel. So make sure you guys subscribe, and guys, if you feel it's a valuable content, then make sure you comment me below. I would love to hear a love from you, or if you have some kind of criticism, then also comment me below. I would love to improve myself. Now, before wasting any more time, let's start this video right now. My name is Komal Achar, and I'm a local real estate agent in Florida area. I help a lot of people who are relocating, especially in this pandemic time. I have like 70 to 80% of relocation clients I've helped in this year. I would say Florida has been very, very famous, among especially in a pandemic time, for the relocation. And I have some other videos where I elaborate those reasons why people are moving here. But it's worth to make this video also, because in this video, I'm actually discussing the facts. As a friend, I want to talk to you guys. If you're thinking to move to Florida, you need to get aware about these facts, because as much as pro is important, cons are important too. And these are like non-discussed facts, like you don't hear too much. You may hear in the news, but people do not discuss in the videos like this. So a couple of facts you may know, but there are like some specific one which is just happening in pandemic time you should be aware about too. It may change, those facts are not constant, because that's time related, especially in this pandemic time. So do not take me wrong. In case you watch this video later on, some of the facts may have changed already. So let's start. The number one fact I feel is a little bit weird, and even I have my own personal opinion. I do not want to too much elaborate the politics side in this video, but I definitely have a personal opinion, and that's what I want to share here too. So number one fact is, if you're moving here, you got to understand what are the things happening in the schools, especially related to the mask. Right now, I feel in Florida like there are two groups. One, they believe in masks. One, they do not believe in masks. Since this pandemic started, our mayor has been in favor of not doing proper lockdowns. I know when initially I heard the first time in news when the lockdown happened, like every single states here in South Florida, especially a couple of airports he closed down, but Palm Beach County and there was another airport they didn't close. When the actual lockdown happened, almost every state did a lockdown, but Florida mayor was always in a favor of not doing the proper lockdown. And that's why it didn't even close, like not all of the airports. So we have like in Florida, there are a lot of other states, residents are living here because it's very famous among the winter birds. So at that time we had a surge because so many people were moving here, and that started increasing the cases. So throughout the last year, the Florida was one of the favorite states among, the highest surge in the COVID cases. Now, I feel that's a plus and minus for the businesses, because business can work if there's no proper lockdown and the economy stays strong. That's what I guess the mayor's philosophy in this. However, when the time came for the schools, you are giving a choice to parents if your kid should wear a mask or should not wear a mask. That's something I feel it should not come from the government, because, the government has to make her, I mean, that's my opinion. Again, don't take me wrong. You can also share your opinion below in this video. I mean, right now is so delicate time. Even though mask is giving, I would say maybe 20% of the protection or 30% of the protection, still it's worth to use a mask. And here in Florida, in schools, it's not mandated. And that's what making it more chaos. Like many people are doing protests. Parents, there are like two groups of parents. You will see like one believes in mask, one doesn't believe in mask. I have personally visited a couple of schools, especially for my daughter for the preschool. I was thinking to put her in preschool this year. But that made me think twice because, I saw that like there are two groups in any of the preschool you go. And it just, if you're giving a choice to the parents, I mean, it is going to be the debate kind of situation among those groups. And I mean, it's not serving the purpose. If half of people are wearing the mask, half is not wearing, or it's just the freedom of whatever you want to do, especially in the schools, the children are our future. So I just feel like this particular things, what is happening right now in 2021, you should be aware about, because if you are favorite to whatever happening, it's fine. The reason I thought to discuss this in this video because this is very delicate topic. However, I know this is very delicate topic and maybe many people will not agree what I'm trying to say here, but I'm only trying to make this point in this video because if you're moving here, you got to aware about what is happening, especially for your kids, in a school. So if you see the news, like at some point when Broward County School, they also denied follow mayor's rule. Mayor office, they literally gave them a warnings, like if they do not follow, any of the county do not follow what they are saying, then they can stop the funding. So those kind of news are so disturbing. I feel like it's this topic is going, that's why it became like a bad politics. I feel like, that's something I'm not in favor. One time I was doing some videos outdoor and I got some interview on my camera. I'm going to share that. So just hear me out. That's something, of course, is opinion of that particular person. However, again, you may not agree to this, but you just need to be aware about what's happening. That's why I'm throwing this fact in this video. If you are a mayor, what do you do different for the state?
I would stop giving money to the sugar company, stop giving them $50 million in subsidies to not plant sugar and poison our water. And I would have mask mandates.
And due to this rule, even harassment of those children can happen. And this is again creating so much chaos in the schools. Many people right now is not in favor to put their kids into public schools, like they are transferring to private schools. So like I was researching this part, then I saw there's so many data was available online where they did not, like almost 30 to 40%, I guess, they do not find that kids who were in 2020 or 2019 in the schools, they are not in the same school. So basically they are transferring themselves to the private schools. So that's another reason I think this mask rule has created that kind of the partition between the parents who believe in mask and who doesn't believe in mask. And many of the parents who are transferring their kids from public school to private school just because of this harassment clause, they're able to use even Hope scholarship. So that's a good thing. I have personally heard some of your parents, they did this particular scholarship for the kids, like who they transfer their kids from public school to private schools. So this is, I know it's a very delicate topic. If you have your own opinion, you're free to comment me below. But my personal opinion is like government should have a very strict rule about mask. Now let's discuss the second point, what's happening in 2021, especially this mid-2021 time frame. We are experiencing right now Delta variants in Florida, and Florida is one of the highest in surge volume, in this Delta variant. A lot of kids, getting sick, especially by the COVID. A lot of kids are getting affected, and we even heard so many deaths happening, especially in this time frame, which is not a great news. When you go out right now, Florida seems so normal. People are not wearing masks because mask is not mandated even outside, not even in business. businesses, anywhere mask is not mandated. So the lifestyle has become very, very normal. And that's, I feel, is a little bit of alarming because everybody not wearing mask, and it just makes you feel psychological very normal not to wear a mask, because others are not wearing, and that's like a motivation happen if you're working outside. And even in a gym or anywhere you go, restaurants, anywhere, you will not see people wearing masks in Florida. So I guess that's one of the reason I feel like this Delta variant it's increasing. Like last 2 weeks, I've heard Florida was one of the highest states where the number wise, if I talk about, almost like 134,000 new COVID cases were registered last week, and which is more than any other 7-day period during pandemic time. So even before time, like this time is getting more worse, and people are not realizing. Before, at least, everybody got scared, and it's just fear also helps to restrict, or like at least try to prevent yourself. When you protect yourself, you're protecting others, right? So that kind of thing happened even first time when COVID started, where everybody got scared and they were protecting themselves and their families. But now I feel the lifestyle became so normal. People, like, everybody has this mindset, like, nothing is there, the COVID has gone. So I feel that's the major reason we see the Florida has been highest in the list, especially in this third wave. Another thing, personally, I have a lot of friends who works in a medical field, because I'm from medical field directly. I have heard, people are refusing even to, like, people are in denial mode, basically. Like, if they have an infection, they don't even tell other parties, like, other person. So many of my friends, they work in nursing home, and they are experiencing this kind of thing also. So if you are moving to Florida, I'm definitely, you should protect yourself, you should protect your family, and that's what we do. My husband works in hospital. We still kind of follow all kind of protocols to protect our family. My in-laws lives with me, so they're like 65 plus, and I have a like 3-year-old daughter. So we are practicing the same protocol, even though like the things are getting normal outside. We are still not gathering in a party, like not doing the parties, basically. But I've seen like it's happening. It's already happening in Florida, where people are feeling normal. People are doing party, gathering, so many, together. Events have started happening, and it's okay to enjoy outdoor right now, but I just feel bad people are not wearing masks. So many of people may not agree again to this point also, but it's my personal opinion, like I feel as a Floridian, it's our responsibility to protect our state. And this is not a good news, where you are seeing so many high number of cases in COVID cases, especially this Delta variant, which is really worse than what we experienced last year. Sorry, we talked a lot of serious stuff in this video, but I wanted to make a little bit of a video where what I feel is a concern living in Florida, right? So that should be discussed, because in case you are moving here, and you should be aware about, it's nothing wrong. We'll live here, and I still enjoy living in Florida. It's not going to change that fact. Again, if you're watching this video after a couple of months, maybe things must have changed. So follow the current news that time, but this is the facts right now, what I'm kind of sharing with you. Now, rest of the points, which are like very general points, it's not related to the time, but that's something you got to aware about too if you're moving to Florida. So number 3 is bilingual. Like, if you are bilingual, like if you know Spanish, then you are winner in Florida, especially in the South Florida side. So for example, if you live in Miami, Hialeah, those kind of like a south side, Miami Beach, those area very, very favorable to Spanish. So sometimes you even feel like in those part of the town, you are in a Spanish town. So you got to used to hearing the Spanish, and if you're bilingual, then your position will be preferred in any of job you apply. And if you are not bilingual, and if you have to work to more like customer service kind of work, then definitely I would say you should start putting your efforts to learn Spanish, because it's very much common in Florida. You have to be bilingual in certain part of the towns to work more efficiently and get the best from your work. So get used to having this bilingual exposure in Florida if you're moving here, or even if you're visiting also, then also you will see this in majority of the town. And I feel like this is as an opportunity for the kids also, like in a schools, any of like for my daughter, I'm right now shopping around the preschool. I see like majority of preschool offers even a Spanish based curriculum too. So if you are someone who believes in those like multicultural, then you will not have a problem in Florida and you are going to enjoy here. So this is not like a negative kind of thing, but I'm just making you aware that this kind of environment you will have even for your kids also. So in school also you will find this separate Spanish classes, or even in French is very common too, especially in South Florida area. So, and again, Florida in general is a multicultural. So many different ethnicity you will find, like Indian, Chinese, Venezuela, Brazilian, Canadian. So many people, like a different culture you will find here. And that's the fun part about this particular state, because it welcomes everyone here. So it's not about just Spanish, but you will find a lot of multicultural language. However, Spanish is the most common language you will hear after English in Florida. Many of my clients were moving from, especially from cold states, because they are not used to seeing daily lizards, cockroaches, and snakes. So you do have like a weird creatures like a flying cockroaches, and a lot of mosquitoes also sometimes comes, especially when you're lakefront property. Not all the time, do not take me wrong. I'm very much biased to lake, because if you're living in Florida, you must have a view. That's my personal opinion, even though you pay extra, but you are going to use this outdoor a lot. But one thing is pretty sure, you got to get used to, like you cannot be scared, otherwise you will not enjoy this beautiful outdoor fun, what this beautiful state offers. So I would say, get used to with those things. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you just live in a nature, you enjoy being in nature. Those are not harmful creatures. Of course, you got to be careful with alligators and crocodiles also, we see sometimes here, but very rarely. It's a myth, I will say. Like people talk about, oh, you see crocodiles and alligators all the time in Florida roads. No, it's not that common. See, once in a while, especially after hurricane, you may get to see crocodiles or alligators, because most of the lakes are connected to Everglades, and when there is a thunderstorm or hurricane, then those pass like basically in the lakes, and then you would see like most of the west side of the towns, you will see those. Sometimes you will see alligators. Again, if you're not harming them, they are not going to harm you. And there is a very good service here, especially from the Everglades. Like you call someone and they will come right away to pick up if you have spotted alligator. However, I feel it's a beautiful part of the state is like you see nature, like a ducks coming here. The one bad thing I will say is having the iguanas on your property, and iguana doesn't come all of the houses. Like, even though like people say there is a lake, you get more iguanas, but that I found it's not 100% true, because I have friends like they don't have a lake and they see iguanas too. So I feel it's their choice. Like they find this soft spots, they keep coming frequently to their property. My neighbor, he lives here since 25 years. Somehow this part of our corner, like in a neighborhood, we have a lot of iguanas, and whatever we do, like we put it sometime trap. He got recently a baby gun, but it doesn't help, honestly. The worst thing is like they eat our plants. So we made a covering, like greenhouse house, a green plant house kind of thing, and that's what I'm going to show you, like just to protect from iguana, so that we can have some plants in this beautiful property. So basically you do have to get used to with those, and if anything like this, which I told you, iguanas, they are going to harm your plants, you have to have a plan B to work on. Even though you have a weather supporting for the plants and trees, but sometimes it's so hard to grow here, especially because of these creatures. So look at this. This is what we built just to have access to planting, and so that the iguana doesn't damage our plants. Now let's discuss weird facts about weather in Florida. So if you're moving to Florida, you have to get used to with this weather. Of course, this is one of the best weather, tropical weather you will find if you want to live in a tropical weather state. And this is like, I'm honestly not against weather what Florida gives us, but of course you got to used to if you are moving from some other states. especially in the summertime, you have a lot of humidity. Trust me, a lot of humidity. I come from India, like my childhood spent in India, so I'm very used to with this kind of hot weather, so it doesn't bother me. But I have seen like people are not so used to. They are really getting irritated, especially in the summertime. So you're not going to spend too much of outdoor time span in outdoor fun activities, doing anything like that. So it's not going to damage your lifestyle because almost every time you are in a house under AC and also in office. But you do get used to if you are spending so much time outdoor, even though you are visiting, especially in the summertime. I would say the best time to visit Florida is like October to December, because that's when you have a less sun and it's like more on the winter time in other states, and here is a little bit of little like neutral weather. So there is no winter, especially in the South Florida. If you go in a Central Florida, you do get a little bit of winter season. So people talk about like, oh, Florida doesn't have at all any seasons. It's not true. Florida does have a rainy season. It has a spring. It has a pretty hot summer. If you go in a Central Florida or North Florida, you do get a little bit of cold, but it's not like you are going to get snow or things like that. But you do feel that little cold weather too if you are going in a Central or north side of Florida. So it depends on where you're living. I live in South Florida. We do not experience this in the winter. You don't have to even use a hoodie in a whole year, 365 days. But November to December is pretty nice, like cool weather. You don't get this hot sun. If you already have a pool in the evening, you cannot use much because the temperature will be more higher. Unless you have a solar or something like a hot heater to heat up your pool. So we just put a solar panels just to heat up our pool because we couldn't use pool, especially after October time frame. So October to January, I would say that's something a little bit I found more evening time is more colder towards cold. So even having pool sometimes not so useful if you do not have heater. So that kind of thing I'm just sharing just as my personal experience too. If you are moving here, you may not have a budget to put this, but that would be like functional thing eventually you should think about to utilize their money. Another thing I would say about weather is like a hurricane season, because many people talk about the very bad hurricanes in Florida. It's so scary, blah blah blah. I would say yes, you get used to with hurricane again, but these are, I would say, one of the things which you get advance notice. You will not get surprise visit of hurricanes, so you have a full week of prepare yourself, and sometimes it doesn't even come. So it's not that frequent. I have been living here since last 12 years. I have hardly seen like a two actual hurricanes, so it's not too common. Again, this is not a negative thing. I'm just telling you the facts, what you see actually when you're living here. So do not just hear the news and try to just go in detail. Try to experience those things. Try to talk to residents. Try to talk to people who are actually living there. Then you will get a better understanding like what kind of hurricane you get, and should you scare or should you not get scared. So if you're living in Florida, another thing I will say about weather is sun is constantly out, and if you have a skin issue, or I'm just giving you like kind of heads up, if you are sensitive to sun, then you may get it. For example, I never had eczema issue in my life, but after moving down here after a couple of years, I started getting this eczema on my hand, and that's just triggered by sun. If I'm outdoor with my open skin, especially on the right hand, I get the swelling, inflammation, and it's kind of eczema problem. So I do have to use the specific clothes. I do have to take some precaution, very heavy sunscreen. So if you're very sensitive to for your skin, definitely you got to use a very heavy sunscreen, and constantly you got to watch out your skin. So you may get tan very easily. I got tan after living here, so that's not an issue, but skin sensitivity is very common in Florida. My issue is not too bad, but I had a friend, her son got this kind of skin issue, especially on her face, and it was so worse that they had changed state, like they had to move out from Florida just because of that issue. Another I've seen issue in a water, like we have a little bit of higher amount of chlorine you find in some towns, not all towns, but some towns has that issue. So many people use alkaline water or soft water, and they even change the complete water supply in house or use the extra filter which converts hard water to soft water. So you do have to, I would say this is like a heads up kind of thing. Like if you are living here, you do get to have, you get to used to all those things or find the solution if you are having it. It's not like have a problem, but it's kind of like a majority. I've seen a lot of people getting this kind of issue, especially from the UV rays and water issue. Also, I've found, like even for the skin, when I was doing my research, like 20% of the skin issues comes from the water. So that's also very important. Many people doesn't focus there, but I would say if you're moving here, that's a worth to spend money there, because that's matter of your skin, hair, your, it's for your body, so for your health. So it's a worth to spend. And if you see the research part, like it's a very probability of getting more higher chlorine water or more what do you call the chemical water, especially in the Florida area. Right, just to make it fun loving, I thought that's a good idea to show you actually this fact. Like this one is basically sometimes do expect to get your power cuts in Florida. It may be in a hurricane season or in a thunderstorm season, or maybe no reason. For example, today we do have some warning for tropical, but we didn't get anything yet in the sky. You see it's very clear sky. However, still we got the power cuts when I come home, and Florida homes are, dependent on air conditioner. If your power cut is there for more than even an hour, it's impossible to stay in inside house. I mean, I would say you can extend yourself if you have a tolerant up to 2 hours, but not more than 2 hours, because it's crazy, especially in the summertime. Right now it's August and still it's not bad. However, still inside, if you go more than 2 hours, it's a little bit sweaty to live there, and it get humid also if the air is not constantly running. You do find fans, in houses, and I do recommend, like if you do not, like many times you don't see in the living rooms, people don't keep it, they keep in a bedroom. So like Florida houses are very dependent on like fan or air conditioner, because this kind of situation, power cut, it's a little bit difficult. So for example, we have power cut today. I just came to know, we got a message is for until like I guess 5 hours that something happened, so they cut the power. And I've seen frequently happening lately some days. And another thing, especially in the tropical seasons or when the hurricane seasons, this is very common. Even power cut is for 2 to 3 days straight. You cannot cook, you cannot do anything. You are very dependent to air conditioner and electricity too. So people do keep the generator. That's pretty much common in Florida houses. You should invest. Like it's just worth it. Like if you're like we did invest after a couple of years we lived here. It's not like immediate expense you have to put in, but that's something in the future you can put in. Another thing is for the cooking, because majority of the Florida neighborhoods have electrical cooking tops. So that's why when power cut is there, it's difficult to use those, right? So for that, many people have the summer kitchen outside where you have a gas, or sometimes even inside. If the perfect spot, you have to see it, but perfect spot people do convert to gas. But that's with a permit. It's a little bit crazy to change, but it is possible to do it. Some neighborhoods, but very rarely, have seen many people who are moving from Chicago, or I've seen even moving from I would say from New York. They are also very used to having gas in house. So that's also not too common in Florida houses. So don't get surprised you see everywhere electrical panels, and that's why I said, like you can convert. Like it's not difficult to convert your summer kitchen into your own dream kitchen, which you can use even in a daily life too. Like we are going to make our own summer kitchen. We do have it right now, but we don't use that much. But there are very beautiful summer kitchens you can make in Florida, and you're going to utilize because weather constantly stays good. So majority of people have the shaded areas and either close to your house or maybe separate, like a tiki hut kind of thing, and They have a summer kitchen there, so it's like a good party spot. You can make it in, especially in outdoor things. And pool, like you're gonna use the maximum pool. So as we don't have a power until I had a like couple of Zoom meetings, but I had to cancel, so I thought let me just jump into pool and talk to you guys, just show you demo what you can do when you have a power cut and make as a fun, you know, this is something you can do if you have a pool. See, I was just talking about the weather unpredictability. Look at this, it's bright sunny at this moment and it started raining. I don't know if you can see the drizzle. It's I guess it's going to be it's going to rain soon. So this kind of weather in unpredictability you will find in Florida too, because one time is raining, one time is sunshine. You know, you got to carry your umbrella everywhere. However, it doesn't disturb your lifestyle. Remember that, because this is not. I enjoy actually having this weather, so it's not constantly hot or it's not constantly bothering, because cloud and having breeze and rain, that's like one of the romantic seasons like you can experience in Florida. So Florida has, I would say, a lot of good stuff. So guys, these are the facts you should know moving to Florida in 2021 or even for future, because major of the facts are very generic. So you got to go more deeper in those research. If you want to have more information for any specific thing, share in comments and let me know what you think about Florida, what you don't like about Florida. Like, give me your opinion. YouTube is all about your personal opinion, so let's discuss in a comment section what your opinions are too. It's not just about my opinion here. So this channel is for everybody, you know. That's why I love doing this discussion in a comments, because it just opens up sometimes your own view also, because it's more about perspective. And when you listen to other people and other opinions, other perspectives, it's just improves your knowledge. There's nothing lost there. So guys, feel free to comment me below and we will see you in my next video.